Hello everybody, my name is CulBlu. I'm bringing out this video of me unboxing a board game, and today I'm going to be unboxing Kartini. I probably should have looked up how to pronounce this. Kartin. Ah man, I'm just butchering it. I'm just butchering it all here. But we're looking at this game, we're unboxing this game, Kartini, From Darkness to Light. It's a game that I backed a Kickstarter back in 2023, I think. And it took me forever to get my copy, mostly because I didn't realize it already came out. So it was partly on me, but also I just never got like the information. Also moved, but I never got it shipped. So I sent a message to the people on Kickstarter or through the backer page manager, whatever it was, and they said, "Oh man, we're so sorry," and they sent me a copy within like a week. So I'm happy I finally got it. And yeah, let me go start our background music here, and let's get into unboxing this game. So, first we'll start with the back, reading the back of the box here, so we can see what's going on with this one. So in Kartini, wait, okay, let me try sounding out. So cart, and then any Kartini. I want to say Kartini, like martini, because I see like the word Martin with an I. So that's why I'm calling it Kartini. So if I'm butchering this pronunciation, my apologies. I'll do better next time. For right now, we'll just go with it. Let's go with it. As a player in Kartini, From Darkness to Light, you run schools where the key to the nation's. As a player in Kartini, From Darkness to Light, you run schools that were key to the nation's eventual liberation. You act upon women's rights and desires to go to school. The education of young Indonesian women give them important roles in society. They lead battles, raise capital, and took part in politics on the road to a free Indonesia. During your turn, you hire teachers, recruit and educate students from the 6 big islands that Indonesia consists of, help them graduate and fill positions on the board, simulating parts of the society. This way, you unlock more and more of the game, and by that, Indonesia. The player who contributes the most is the winner, and includes both a competitive and a cooperative mode. I'm happy about that. This one says, make an impact on Indonesia in the late 1800s to the early 1900s during the country's struggle for independence from colonialism. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. We're trying to get away from that one. I do live stream here on Twitch, so it's twitch.tv/CulBlu, that's CulBlu. But I'm saying that because we have a Twitch chat here from Chai Doodle, and it says, according to Google, is Kartini. Okay, so it looks like I'm on the right path. So the word car, the word T, and then the word ni. So Kartini. Yay, I did it. All right, and then down here, I want to read this part too. The idea behind this game comes from a famous series of letters written by Kartini, a Javanese aristocrat. These letters were later published titled From Darkness to Light. So I like that part because there's a lot of history, of course, in this one. And there's actually a whole lesson plan that the people who made this game, designed this game, they went and reached out to the University of, I should probably look it up, but some university, some prestigious university in the United States, to help them make a lesson plan. So you can use this in your schools, you can use this in your classes to actually teach the subject matter here, teach about the different famous people, teach about the different women that show up in this game, the events that are going on. And I just really like board games that teach a lot of history. Ion Games, huge shout out to them because they do a lot of history style games like this. They did Semarama, it's what you saw me do a playthrough of if you watch some of my older videos. And they also have, for better or for worse, some of the games by Phil Eklund. I had a falling out with Phil Eklund, not personally, but just I've decided not to platform any more of his games or anything. Just a personal decision for me and my own channel. But with that said, some of those games are some of my favorites, like PAX Dreams Humanity, PAX Emancipation. I don't want to say PAX Emancipation is my favorite, but it's pretty cool, the history that you deal with trying to end chattel slavery around the world. But all those are by Sierra Madre Games or Ion Games, which Sierra Madre Games was absorbed by Ion Games, and the Ion Games is now them. But they do a lot of historical stuff, and I appreciate it because they're bringing a lot of publishers. Like again, another one is it starts with the G. I can see it in my mind, but it's about the spreading Christianity or something like that. I forget, or medicine and stuff. Galneus? something like that. I don't know, whatever the game is. But Ion Game Designs has a lot of like history stuff, and it's really cool because you can learn a lot from their games. And I, for instance, learned, the reason I'm saying all that is because this section, I read this and I thought maybe this is a typo. Did they mean a Japanese aristocrat? But it's no, Japanese is a whole entire culture of people that I have never heard of, out of my own ignorance for world events. And I learned more about the Japanese people. I didn't learn a lot. I just read like, the Wikipedia line or two about the Japanese people being a big ethnic group within the Indonesian region. But it was really cool just to like learn more. I was like, oh man, there's so much more to the world than just, guns and burger. I say as an American. Okay, cool. Now that I got all that way, let's go ahead and open up the box. I've already apparently opened this a little bit, or it looks like it might get cut or something. I don't know, but cool. I'll take advantage of that little leverage it gave me and continue opening the box. All right, there we go. And oh, sorry, Chai Doodle says in the chat here, that's amazing. I had no clue. Yeah, it's really cool, the history stuff. It's just, I don't know. I feel like board games are a vehicle that it would be very convenient. Like even with a game like Sankori, I learned about the stuff that Mansa Musa did for trying to get education to be a big thing in that region, in I think Northwest Africa. Don't quote me on where that is, but that was from playing the board game, so that's really cool. All right, so I'm opening the box finally. And here we are. We see our stuff. We got a rule book here. We got some punch board. Woo, punch board. We love our punch board. What is this? 4 sheets? 4 sheets of punch board. I don't know if I'm going to do a full storage solution here in this video. I might do it off screen or offline, but we'll see. We got here. I'm assuming these are the different islands. So we got Nusa, Papua, and I'm going to attempt to pronounce the things even though I might butcher it completely, because I still feel like we should at least attempt to say the things and then learn better. This one's Sumatar. This one is Jawa, and Kalimantan. This one is Sulawesi. Okay, cool. And one cool thing that I learned, I forget where it was from. I think it was like a show. I think it was like a sitcom or something. But basically, somebody was going up to like one of the characters in the show, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, Jins, it's so nice to meet you." And then like somebody else was like, "Oh man," like scolding him, was like, "Oh, you pronounced his name wrong. It's Jans." And it's like, and the guy said, "No, it's fine. Hey, I thank you for, it seems like you recognize me, it seems like you know me, and it sounds like you know my name by reading about it, so thank you for knowing about me," type thing. And like that's such a more beautiful perspective in my mind. When somebody pronounces a thing wrong, especially if they've only read about it, I feel like we should at least take the moment to like acknowledge, like, hey, at least you read about it, type thing, as opposed to saying, haha, you can't pronounce Jin's right. And it's like, yeah, but it's a thing that I read. I never heard it pronounced before. So it's new information, so I'm trying to find out more. So I feel like that would encourage more people to just be okay with pronouncing things wrong. I'm not saying you should pronounce things wrong. I'm saying, now that you know better, you do better. Anyway, so here are, these are the different boards. I think these correspond to the different islands, or these different players. I don't know. There's 6 of them though. And they're all pretty much the same. That's why I'm thinking they're like different maybe player areas, but again, I have no context for this game outside of the historical angle that the designers were going for. And then we have these boards. These are nice sturdy boards here. They have a nice little backing on them too. Just simple cardboard with like some kind of paper on it. But we have From Darkness to Light, different tracks, 5 to 6 players, 4 players, 3 players, 2 players, 1 player. So it looks like these are the tech trees or something. I don't know. Milestone round 1, round 2, round 3. Here we have the Bali Pustaka. By 1 to 3. Pay to, okay. And then we got different teachers here. Republic of Indonesia. Am I saying that right? Is it Indonesia or Indonesia? I don't know. I'll go with Indonesia because that's how I've been saying it so far. That's probably wrong. Right, event pile, article of, or active events, patrons, cluster 1, cluster 2, cluster 3. Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm just slowly walking through and kind of admiring the game, mainly because this is a game that I've been looking forward to getting so I can learn more about this particular time period or this particular bit of history. Here's the player board, or here's the, not the player board, the main board. So for here we have the different islands, and I'm not entirely sure what all this is about here, but I do know that I'm trying to see if some of these names were showing up over here. Here's, oh yeah, okay, so this is the island, I see. I was right, I made a guess and I was right. This is Papua Nasua. Okay, cool. Learning more as you go. Not really much to look at outside of it has some turn order stuff, reward track, these spots, which I don't know what they mean, but okay. All right, continuing on with the box, we have the wooden bits. I'm gonna save these for a moment. I'm gonna get the rest of the stuff out of the box here. We have this. Oh, that's so sad. Look at that. It's all curled up. Graduation sequence by aspiration. I'm assuming these are player aids. We'll open up these and we'll zoom in real close so we can get a good peek at them, good gander. Ooh, I don't like the, oh man, that texture. Ugh. It feels like rubbing two sand things together. Not sand, like two things with powder on them together. It just didn't feel pleasant. I do like the fact that it's kind of matte, not like glossy. But again, these look like player aids. So they have a different front, different back here. Action phase, player takes turn, do these things. Here's different symbols and what they mean. Cool. I do love the artwork. Like the art is pretty nice. Art's pretty great. Also, let me switch my camera here because my green screen is green screening. There we go. I'm not using my green screen, but it was just kind of causing some weird artifacts on the screen there. All right, so put those away, and we got cards. Lots and lots of cards. Ooh, got a whole stack card. Look at that thick stack. All right, so I'm gonna open this stack. I'm assuming, well, I don't want to open this one. Okay, fine, I'll open this one. I'm assuming this is the these are different named characters. Ooh, this one says hero. Wait, this one says hero 2? Are there hero 1? Kartini letters. Okay, all right. I'll open all of them. We'll start with this one. If I can get, there we go, good purchase. Open that up. Okay, and I do like the fact that all these are different named persons. I don't know if they're historical figures individually or if they're just like different names that people might have that would have enrolled in the schools and stuff. Students, that's the word I was trying to use. Wow. Different word for a different word for people who attend places where they learn things. You mean students? Students with names? Yes. All right, so it looks like it's one for each player. And like I said, it seems like they have different names. So here's Diane, Amara, Ika, Hepseri, Lysiana, Simpaka, and I don't know if these are. Oh, I see. So I'm assuming this is like their student side, and this is their I'm an adult side. I wonder Okay, I was about to say, I wonder if it's different artwork, but it looks like no, it's the same artwork. Is it the same artwork? It's kind of the same artwork. Looks like they have a few different models that they used. Like 3 or 4 different models. Let's see. Let's see if I can find all the different, like, looking faces here. Because again, artwork. Artwork is really nice in this one. Oh, they just have 3. Okay, so it's just 3 different. Oh no, 4. Here's a 4th. These are question mark ones. So here's their youth side. I'm just gonna call it the youth side, or kid side, girl side, and then on the other side is their adult side, their woman side. That's pretty cool. I like that. And it looks like it's the same, like I said, the same different templates for everybody else. So just 4 different looking characters there. And I do like that they're kind of showing, hey, this card is matured, or this card is leveled up or evolved, or whatever the word this game's going to use. Graduated, I guess is probably an appropriate word in this game. But look at that, look at that. So pretty. And I don't know if my camera's really doing it justice, but I just like the, I don't know, it's just good artwork. It just looks nice. And the cards, they feel like really good quality cards too. So I will give them all the credit there for good quality cards. I will still sleeve these. Oh no, are these chimeras? If these are chimeras, then the game just loses the whole 2 points automatically, just right off the bat. Stop using chimera-sized cards, people. Stop using chimera-sized cards. I give 0 cares how much I like the game. If it's chimera-sized cards, it's immediately just a 1 out of 10. Joking. Let me try to find my mat here. I have it somewhere, I think. I hope. Not finding it. What's this problem? I have no clue where it is. I feel like I would have seen it by now. So all the sounds you hear on the side are just me kind of rummaging through my my stack of storage things, and I'm looking for my Sleeve Kings. Oh, there it is. I'm looking for my Sleeve Kings mat that will let me see the size of cards. So let me move these out of the way. Like I said, these cards, they feel like really good quality. They have like a nice thickness to them. Here's my Sleeve Kings mat that I can use to kind of spec the size of cards here. And let's see. Oh, nice. They're not chimeras, they're Euro. Okay, Euro card sleeves. All right, I'll take it. As long as it's not chimera, because chimeras, I just have a burning frustration of chimeras. I just don't like that size. It's just such a weird, awkward card sleeve size. All right, so these are Euros, so that's good. I have a lot of those from Sleeve Kings. I'm not sponsored by anybody, by the way. I just happen to have a Sleeve Kings mat because they were selling it. That had all that. So I'm glad I got to look at all the artworks finally, because that was really nice. These look like really good, well drawn, well artwork. Like I like the art style and everything. All right, hero cards. It's like these are more characters. They're probably just named characters, and by that I mean not like those other the other characters. They seem like a little bit more generic. Like, yeah, they have names for each individual character, and I'm glad they went out of their way to get names for everybody. But it's just more of that was sorry, using my little nail clipping scissors. Those cards are probably not as powerful as these ones. Those are probably like more of the standard cards. You need to build some of those to attract these cards type thing. And again, that's my assumption. I have no clue how this game plays. So we'll see if that's true in the future. But for right now, oh, hey, we got different artwork. Okay, cool. So don't tell me these are all the same. Okay, so these are, oh, so, okay, I see. So these are hero cards. Wait, what's happening? Okay, so these are hero cards. I'm assuming these hero cards are like named. Yeah, they have like some history text down here. We'll zoom in real close so we can see those in a second, just not right now. And then these are double-sided. They don't have a hero card. They have like a question mark. Oh, okay, maybe that's just that one. I wonder why some of these are double-sided with like a question mark. That's so cool. Maybe it means that they're like a wild card or something. Then these are hired teacher, a patron. So looks like for each different type of teacher, they had the same artwork. This is hired teacher. This is the politician. And I'm assuming Boo here. Assuming that's how you pronounce that. Boo is like a title. So like you know, like Congressman Raskins, Jamie Raskins, or something like that. This is like a Boo Maya. So Congressperson Maya, like that. Oh no, I lied. Maybe not. I don't know. I have no clue. I'm just making wild guesses here, and these guesses are getting cooked. So we got these are the teachers. Different art there. Okay. And I want to zoom in closer on some of these other characters because it looks like they're based on famous persons who might have existed in history or who have existed in history. So let's go and zoom in on this one. There we go. So here's the Sartika, hero student, and number 144 there. It says Sartika may change classroom after a graduate hat in her, or after somebody graduates in her classroom. I'm assuming that's what that means. And then here he says Sartika who loved to role playing. Oh man. Okay. All right. We got some typos. All right. Dwight Sartika, who loved role playing as a teacher in her childhood, founded Sakola Istari. Let me say Istari. Let's go Istari. Or Istari, yeah. Istari in 1904, which was later renamed Sakola Kowetaman Istari. In 1910, by 1920, other branches opened through West Java. The school was renamed. Oh, jeez, we are exercising those phonics muscles today, y'all. Let me tell you, Sakala Radin Dawai in September 1929. Cool. So she was a teacher who loved to role play as a teacher in her childhood. She founded a few different schools that were named after her. I was kind of hoping for maybe a little bit more history, like, you know, hey, here's some big things that she did. Oh, I see. She founded the school. Okay, all right, there we go. I was like, okay, cool. The school's named after her, but what did she do? I was like, she founded the school to begin with. Here's another one. Here's another character. Opu Ding Risaju. Sure, we're gonna go with that. She's a hero student, and it says gain +1 from the student reward. And it says Opu Ding Risaju joined PSII. Don't know what that stands for, and founded a Palapo branch in 1930. The Dutch colonial government curtailed her achievements due to her popularity. She was tried, found guilty, and lost her noble titles. Wow, man. I'm just telling you, imperialism and colonialism, capitalism, all of it is it was so garbage. All right, anyway, it's gonna be a depressing learn probably. Okay, so we've gone through and looked at the cards, some of the cards. I just want to see some of the history text. I always love it when there's like history text down here. You can kind of learn more about the characters that you're playing in the game. To, you know, look at them as not just like a pawn or a piece that you're putting on the board, but as somebody who existed through history, somebody who's achieved things, just kind of the lore of your board game type situation. But I don't want to call it lore of board game because this is actual history. History that probably isn't taught a lot outside of the directly impacted regions And even some of the directly impacted regions probably never learn about it. Like, was it the Dutch colonies or that one was talking about? They probably never learned about this part of history because it's like, we don't talk about that part. Sad. All right, continuing with the cards. We have Kartini's letters. So I was going to open up all the cards, so I'm going to keep to my word here. We're almost through. We got 2 more stacks. We got the events and these cards. Milestone cards, I'm assuming. Okay. And, oh, again, these cards feel like a pretty good quality. Nice thickness to them. Like, listen to that. Sounds pretty good. All right, I will definitely sleeve these as soon as I can, though. So we have just the same thing on the back of all these. And then we got some more impossibly small text to read. Man, I don't like it when board games use cursive or whatever this little font is. It's like, please stop doing that. All right, so this one says, hard work days off. Go put in the work to realize your dreams. Put in the work. So go, put in the work to realize your dreams. Put in the work for the future. Work for something that lasts. And this is Raiden Inning Kartini. It says there's the effect there. I'll bring up another one. Are all these quotes by her? Okay, I see. Yeah, all these are quotes by her. Darkness and light. Because it did say she wrote a bunch of essays that ended up in a book, so that's pretty cool. But doesn't this darkness only cause the light to seem even brighter? Ooh, bars. Okay, let's do another one. Art is character. Because if a nation's art is of high quality, then the character of that nation is poetry. Ooh. Okay, hold on, yeah, let's go and read one more. Just last one, I promise, last one. Strong enough to fight. Without a fight, there will be no triumph. I am not afraid to face hardship. I am strong enough to handle it. All right, one more. I lied, just one more. The goal of our lives. We have to live together, and for all humans, the goal of our lives is to make life more beautiful. These are very inspirational. I like these. Okay, cool. So sorry, these are her. Oh, that makes sense. She wrote them because these are her letters. Cool. So I'm assuming that those have some kind of big impact on the game when you're playing them, and you get some of her letters that give you like a special ability or like a big power, but you gotta probably pay the stuff on the side to actually activate it. That's my assumption, given the typical flow of board games and the design language that I'm assuming here. All right, so let's look at the event cards. And we'll be done with looking at the cards. I'm not going to do a full-on storage solution for this. Oh, and we got to look at the wooden bits. Sorry. I'm not going to do a full-on storage solution for this one during this video, mainly because I just want to keep the video focused on the subject matter, which is the game, and take the time to encourage all of us to learn and embrace history. Not just the cool stuff that we hear about, but also the hard stuff, the difficult stuff, the big fights. Hear about the activists that, paved the way for us to get to where we are, and not just the glory of the colonizers, or whatever that's supposed to mean. Anyway, so here's the event cards. I'm gonna zoom in. Oh, I lied, I'm not gonna zoom in. There's not much to see outside of what's said here. So it looks like these just change some things on the board. They give you different effects. Cool. All right, that was exciting. Not as exciting as the other cards, clearly, but just, sure. Mechanics. Gotta have your mechanics in your board game, so your board game can function. Oh. Okay, I'm having a struggle with this one. Tiny scissors, save me! All right, and there we go. Got it. All right, freed from the darkness of sleep or plastic. So these are different milestones, and it looks like they give you co-op milestones and then competitive milestones. Again, the card quality feels really good. It just feels like I'm rubbing like 2 bits of sandpaper together because the film on them or something, the finish, I should say. So these are different milestones that you get. These are co-op milestones. So, and enlightened cohorts, co-op milestone, have at least X graduated students in total. So you're doing a 1-player game, you need 2 graduated students. If you're doing a 6-player game, you need 12. It's 2 per player. Heroes welcome. Have at least one graduated hero per player. Teacher's movement. Have at least one graduated teacher per player. Whatever the symbol is. What's that symbol? Yeah, teacher. That's right. Cool. All right. So those are some of the milestone cards they have for the co-op. They have round 3, round 2, and round 1. So it sounds like this game plays in 3 rounds, but you probably have different phases of those rounds that end up making it like a 20-turn game or something like that. All right, cool. So that's pretty much everything. I've done everything. Again, I'm not going to do a full storage solution for this one like I would do any of my other typical board games because I want to keep the focus here on the history and the subject matter at hand. I do think that after I sleeve everything, make sure there's nothing under here, nothing under there. I do feel like once I sleeve everything, it may have some struggles fitting back in the box, but we'll see if I have that solved. Also, my storage solution stuff that I would normally use anyway, I'm getting a shipment coming in tomorrow, hopefully. So I won't really be able to like put it in the normal boxes I would anyway until tomorrow because I ran out. But thankfully I ordered in time for them to arrive soon. Okay, so we're just gonna kind of chuck everything back in the box. Oh man, I really don't want to just throw these cards in the box and just like let them fly around and get all, ugh. Okay, fine. We're not doing a full storage solution, we're just gonna do a partial one. Because I have the capabilities to at least not put the game back in the box like a savage. And to clarify, I'm not using pink because it's a game about female persons. It's because that's just the one that I have available right next to me. Here's a blue one. I think this might fit better. Okay. I just want to keep the cards from getting too mixed up here. Okay, that fits way better. Do I have another one of those? I do, I just bought some. Did I? I did. All right, looks like I gotta get up. Hey, tradition returns. All right, I haven't gotten up from my seat all video during an unboxing. Is it not really an unboxing if I don't get up at least once? All right. If I do have another one, I do not know where it is. Huh. I could have sworn. Did I use them already? No way. Can't be. All right, maybe it is over here. I just completely missed it. Well, that's awkward. Huh. All right, I thought I had another one of the slimmer deck boxes like this one here, but I'm not seeing it. I really thought I bought like 2 of them recently. It'll show up later. It'll turn up later. All right, so let's see if I can fit everything back in the box. Oh, sorry, wooden bits. Oh my gosh. Sorry, wooden bits. I'm so sorry. I kept getting the wooden bits. I'll probably get a Game Genic token, so I won't call it a day for this one. But these are the wooden bits. They have different shapes. No, same shapes. Yeah, same shapes. So I'm assuming these are player shapes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are different. 6. Oh, they are different shapes. Oh, okay. There's a different cut for each player. Nice. It's slightly different. So here, got the pink, and the orange, the blue, the purple, the green, and the yellow. So these are different shapes for the player bits and pieces. And they have smaller versions of those here. And these ones. So I'll probably get little bags so I can store those in. Here's a little black piece here. A lantern, nice. And then here's your round tracker or something. Here's some more bits. Looks like there's unique shapes for each player color. I appreciate that. And I'm assuming these are buildings for each player. So these are all just kind of the players' stuff. Yeah, that's what it looks like. All right, this is the pink player, purple player, blue player, orange player, green, and the yellow. Cool. So that should be easy to store. I can just put those in bags. Well, I said I wasn't going to do a full storage solution this video, but here I am working on a full storage solution. Ugh, gosh, this always happens. All right, again, I'm just assuming all these go into the same bag. Future me will deal with this later, but I don't want to throw all these plastic bags back in there, especially if you can save a little bit of space. Sorry, Chai Doodle in the cart says, or Chai Doodle in the chat says add to cart. Yes, add to cart. That's why I ordered just in time. Hashtag add to cart. All right. And do I have a blue one? I do. Let's see. All right, let me make sure I got the right colors. Blue, orange. I don't have a purple. I usually use black for purple. I do have a yellow. I have a green. And we will use black for the purple. Okay. You could use gray. All right. Alright, so speaking on the subject matter of this game, like I said, I did learn about this game through, well, I didn't say this before, but I'll say it now. I think I was watching Heavy Cardboard, where Edward was interviewing or was talking about the game with somebody. I feel like that's who it was. It was either that or it was, I was looking at like votes for women, and it was mentioned about the Kickstarter. And the cool thing about the game is just the idea of what you're doing. You're trying to like spread the education, teach people, educate the students, and help society help itself. And I'm a firm believer that you need to educate. You need to educate to get people get societies to just kind of pull themselves up and get out of wherever they are to, just kind of do better. Because when you have people who are educated, they can give back to society. They can contribute for themselves and how they want to, through the arts, through the sciences, through the engineering, through all the other different facets, care, service work, care work, defense work, whatever. And education is critical in that, especially when you consider those that are kind of, pulling the levers, the shadows behind the shadows, pulling the levers. They are very educated persons, or they have had access to education, or at least to some form of power in the form of monetary things. So, like money, lots of money. So as a result of that, if you have a really solid education, then there's nothing that somebody who has a bunch of $1 billion can do to take that education away from you outside of killing you. And at that point, you become a martyr. And when you become a martyr, you can start, encouraging others to educate themselves. That's one of the reasons why I like the Black Panthers movement back in the days. The Black Panthers movement was really, really cool because a lot of people focused on the black people in America are taking up guns to like shoot cops and stuff. It's like, nope, you missed the entire point. It was about community policing. It was about basically, the way that our structures work in our American society is a class war disguised as a, this race is more superior than that one, or this gender is more superior than the other one. But I mention that because it's essentially a thing that's used to kind of keep people who don't have much fighting against other people who don't have much. Some people who have less, I should say, or who traditionally have less because poverty strikes. The system keeps people down and keeps people put down, doesn't give opportunities for people to do better. And it always proves out, like in study after study after study after study after study, when you have situations to where there's like a lot of crime, or you have situations to where, there's a society where there's like a lot of people, a lot of kids, a lot of young persons below the age of 30. I say young, but as somebody who is over the age of 30, I guess young is under 30 to me. But they end up doing these bad things because they don't have any other opportunity, any other method, any other path, or maybe they don't know. And there are definitely the outliers, but we shouldn't be so focused on the outliers when the outliers are definitely not the rule, but the exception. But to punish an entire group because one person did a thing is a genuinely unjust and unfair thing. And there's more context I can give to it. I'm just kind of rambling here because I was kind of going through storing the bags. But what I'm ultimately trying to say is that education is the key. Using the Black Panthers thing as my original argument here. There was a lot of stuff like in order to join the Black Panthers, you had to read a certain book list. You had to make sure that you were being active in certain ways. You had to contribute to your community. You had to, there's a church component to it for the religious side of things. For those who appreciate those kind of things, not myself, but whatever. But the idea is that you need to be a part of the community that you're trying to join. It's not just a club where you can just join, get a gun, and just start, harassing people. But everybody who's opposed to such a thing, everybody who's opposed to groups coming together and lifting themselves up and standing for themselves and advocating for themselves, they were doing everything they could to demonize it. And it ultimately got to the point to where the levers, the powers that be in the government, the people who had power, who were very, very against any minority persons coming together to rise up to better their station, not to take over, but to better their station. They were like, hey, we gotta put this down. We gotta take them out. And just the media campaign. It's so easy to get people to believe a thing that might just kind of take their biases and just believe so many bad and untrue things about another section of society, another group of people, another group of persons. It's so easy to do that. And bringing it back to the subject matter for this game, it's very commendable that the education, that teaching is kind of the key, is the answer. Because if you can teach people that, hey, there are better ways, there are better things out there, then you can do what's called, popping the epistemic bubble that someone might exist in. And for those who don't know, the epistemic bubble, people know echo chambers, that's the one that people commonly hear. But an epistemic bubble, in the way that I'm currently using it, is I'm defining it as, and there's a way to define it this way, but I don't think it's the common definition from what I was looking at when I was trying to research this to explain to another friend. But there's a definition of an epistemic bubble of it essentially being that you basically don't know what you don't know. And once you do get exposed to something outside of the bubble that you're in, then you start saying, oh, okay, cool. And then that bubble's popped. And then you can start moving on and moving forward with learning more or doing better or changing your behavior, something like that. So an example of an epistemic bubble would be, from my own personal background, I grew up in a house to where we listened to nothing but, hip hop, R&B, gospel music, stuff like that. And, it was just rock and roll and, metal and all this stuff wasn't really in the wheelhouse. It wasn't that we all hated it or anything. It was just nothing we listened to. It just wasn't playing on Sundays before we go to church or all this other stuff. When we were just driving down the car, just heading to a family get together. So when I went to college, I hung out with some friends, made some friends, and then hung out with them. And then I was introduced to bands like the Killers. I knew about Phoenix. The band Phoenix, but I didn't know about them. And then, Imogene Heap, kind of stretching outside of the group, St. Vincent, stretching outside of the circle, the bubble that I was in, into more like the rock, pop, all that style thing. And, folk and stuff like Florence and the Machine. I guess Florence and the Machine, is that folk? I guess it's kind of folk. Not the Teen Teens, who am I thinking of? Oh my gosh. What's the name of this band? Oh no, it's gonna bother me. They have a song that's like Winter of 1987 or something like that, or 1985. I'll think of their name in a second. But what I'm saying is the epistemic bubble is popped on the music front, because it's I just never went out and listened to it. It wasn't that I couldn't, I had the internet, I had access to all these things. And I would occasionally hear a song or two from video games and stuff that I played, because I played a lot of video games. But for the most part, it just didn't come up. Didn't listen to that kind of music. And then I was like, this is great. This is wonderful. Now, an echo chamber is different because that means that the group is actively doing things to suppress it. So you know about the thing, about rock and roll, and using a music example, but you're actively doing things like say, hey, that's banned from my house, or you can't listen to that, or you're never going to listen to that here, or you're not going to play that guitar, stuff like that. And the difference between an echo chamber and an epistemic bubble is that an echo chamber is actively trying to suppress any outside perspective, outside thought, outside thing. And an epistemic bubble is just you don't know. So it's like, for instance, when I was reading the back of the box, I was telling you earlier that Javanese, I didn't know Javanese was a thing. I thought maybe it was just a typo of Japanese. So that's an epistemic bubble. I went on the internet, I looked it up, and said, oh no, Japanese is a whole group of people that I never knew existed in the world, the theater of the world. But now I know, because now that epistemic bubble's popped. And that can be very impactful because some people react certain ways because they just think that never happens here. When you talk about extreme poverty, about somebody throwing water in their milk if they have access to milk, to have cereal if they have access to cereal. You got people who don't have access to even clean water, even here in the United States of America, which I think is a popular story that everybody knows about, so I guess it's not that big of a shock. But the richest country in the world, allegedly, not able to even take care of his own people. But it all goes back down to education. It all goes back down to popping those epistemic bubbles. Also, I just realized I've been going through the cardboard without giving commentary on it. So let me give commentary on the cardboard. I'll do our drop. The die cut feels pretty good. Feels pretty nice. It looks like it's nice and there. Also, the cardboard, it feels thin, but also feels like it's not cardboard. It feels like it's like a plastic board. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I'm pretty sure this is just cardboard, but it's just, I don't know, it feels sturdier than cardboard. I don't know, it feels like it might be like poster board instead of cardboard, which is super weird. But I like it. I mean, it's thin, but it feels sturdy. It feels like substantial. Like, I feel like I don't want to immediately replace the cardboard bits here, or these bits here, with metal money. Although if they do have metal money for this game, I will definitely get it, because I feel like I will play this game at least once a year, just to kind of dive into the history and learn more about it. Of course, assuming the gameplay is something I actually like. That's a different conversation. Anyway, going back to my conversation about epistemic bubbles and all this stuff. So the important part is that if you're in an epistemic bubble, it's okay to learn things. It's okay to go outside of your worldview and just kind of hear out the other side. I've had people who I encountered in college who never interacted with a black person. And I'm like, wow, how do you live in America and not ever interact with a black person? But it's just, it happens. People just say, my entire town is just, everybody interacted with was white, or was Italian, or was Scottish, or whatever the ethnic backing is for the person. And that just happens. Some people just don't know what they don't know. And the important thing is not avoiding that, not knowing what you don't know. It's just more so, once you do find out, what do you do afterwards? And there's been a lot of people who failed open note tests by doing really terrible, heinous, awful things like, trying to say they're more superior than. That's like one of the biggest issues in our society. My group is more superior than your group. And there's an argument to say that it happens in all directions, but in America specifically, and also across the Western world, it always goes back down to the unifying idea of whiteness. And I don't mean to make this entire lecture about it, but what I'm trying to say is that it's just like, you don't have to think of yourself as better than a group of people. Like if you can just look at the world as, I want to make it better for the next generation, as in I want healthcare for everybody here in America. I want, people to be able to, have vacations, have kids and be supported and have a family, do their religion. If you want to, fight for or advocate for better schooling, then do that. But we don't have to do it in the way that we're doing it. But anyway, I can wax on poetically forever about these things. I have a lot of political thoughts, of course. But I'm mostly talking about this because, again, I'm just punching out board here, so you're just watching me do this. And I think it's an important conversation. So this game was a delight for me to hear about, because I was like, oh my gosh, that subject matter, I love it. Yes, teaching, education, educating the youth so you can kind of fight back. And this is like a all-women focused game. Not to say that men didn't exist here in this area, of course, but what this game is focusing on is the major contributions that a lot of women made in this region, Indonesian women. Made in this region, especially the title character, the title person, Kartini herself. Her writings and what they contributed, what they gave to society, how they helped guide people to fighting back, and just securing a better society, building a better society. So I appreciate that. Like, it's just, you know, this is right up my alley. All right, we're almost done with the cardboard. Again, I said I wasn't gonna do a full storage solution because I want to focus on the subject matter, but punching out the cardboard has allowed me to rant about things that I think are important to rant about, especially here in the board game space, which is, you know, has its own issues for sure. But one thing I don't think people really pay much attention to, but I for sure notice it because it's me, is that, you know, it's not a lot of voices that aren't just, you know, white dudes. I don't know how else to say it. That's not to say that white dude voices are bad. It's just mostly to say that, you know, diversity of thought, diversity of voices, or just having the hobby have more persons that are interested and open to kind of being on camera leading channels or contributing their thoughts or perspectives. That's always nice. And I also would like to extend that to the comment of, I love games like this because it's saying, hey, there's more than just Vikings and Greek mythology in this world. And I agree. There's more than just Vikings and Greek mythology in the world. We have other sections of the world that we can focus on, other histories we can focus on. This is why I'm starting to get a little bit more into war games, because there's a whole bunch of war games out there that cover topics like, again, people power is a great example. Fire in the Lake, kinda. That's more of the America as the villain, basically, with Vietnam. But these games exist. Comanche. Comanche is another one that I'm learning, and it's just cool. You know, history is really cool and fascinating, and has a whole bunch of stuff going on. It's not great a lot of times, especially when you learn about, you know, the things that happened in the name of the people. But yeah, again, now that we know better, we should do better. All right, continuing with our storage solution here, we're gonna put all these pieces inside the box and see what fits where, and see if we can answer the question, can we close the box without box lift? So it looks like there's a lot of different little bits here that fit really well into these Cube for Me. Not Cube for Me, these aren't Cube for Me. These are Geek Box. These Geek Box storage things. There we go. Again, this would be much better if I could wait until tomorrow, but since I'm putting the pressure on myself to do it today, we're gonna go ahead and see if we can make this work with what we got. I got all the player pieces inside of their bags. I wonder if I can, because these look like these are specific to the player colors. So I think I might be able to get away with throwing those inside of the bags too, which will save a storage solution here. So that's what I'm gonna assume here. Future me will definitely complain about it later. Current me is like, yeah, let's get it in the box. Let's get it all in the box. Put the board game pieces in the bag, little bro. That's what the cool kids say. So I hear. All right, there we go. There it is. Okay, the green one. Again, this is all based on intuition here of these pieces belonging to this player. Because this game is a 6-player game, there's 6 different colors. What am I to assume otherwise? Or why would I assume otherwise, I should say. And I don't like that the purple and the pink are kind of close in color. Like, that's a little distressing. I appreciate pink being a color in there, though. I'll definitely be playing the orange player, of course. It's my color. And last but not least, blue. It's my alt color here, blue. There we go. I've done it. All right, so we stored all those. Let's see. We can use, if I'm guessing, I think all these need to go together because these all have like the same little one thing on the back of them. So I'm assuming these are related. And again, this is not cardboard. This is definitely not cardboard, but it feels really nice and sturdy. I like it. Whatever this is, I want more games built out of this. I don't know if this material is maybe easy to come by or hard to come by, but it feels nice. Like, cardboard warps when you get like humid weather like we have here in North Carolina. You know, it just does all kind of weird things. It's reliable, it's cheap, but do we have to use it? Can we use more stuff like this, whatever this is? Okay. Hey, it fits. Can I fit 3? Oh, it's gonna be kind of close. Ah, almost. Fits them all anyway, right? So that's good. That's good. Looks like we might not need a GameGenic token silo, which I'm happy about because I don't have one right now. So I would have to buy another one. Put these handshakes in here, and then boom, bam, boom. Oh, okay. That went exactly how I wanted to go. It's part of my plan. There we go. Look at that. That all stored pretty well. Pretty compactly. And we got plenty of space left in this box. And we got some leftover bits that I can like gawk over how nice they feel. Okay. Also, I would like to say, now that we're kind of getting into the store in the box thing, yeah, board games are political. I would like to emphasize that board games are political. For those who do not believe me, just think what happens when a supply chain issue comes up with board games or cardboard, or just the Chinese New Year is a perfect example. When the Chinese New Year happens, some people complain, it's like, oh my gosh, why can't I get my card sleeves? Why can't I get my thing? Why can't I get my this or that? You know, based on things that are kind of printed in areas that observe the Chinese New Year more from a national perspective than others, or a society perspective than others, and that's a political thing. It doesn't. I mean, some people might say, "Oh, it's about the Chinese New Year. How's that political?" It's like, well, not everybody has that particular religious thing. It's probably not the best example. Now I'm thinking about it, but the idea is that it's still impacting you, and there are ways from a political perspective that you can interact with that. You can do things like say, "Hey, you're not allowed," and then it's like, what does that do to the people who celebrate the thing? That's kind of oppressing their religion, and I think it's the whole freedom of religion conversation. So yeah, don't worry, guys. Politics will exist always, and you can either pretend to be ignorant to it or engage with it and try to do better. All right, here's the final situation. Looks like everything's nice and stored. No box lift with the storage solution that I had on hand, which is very basic, kind of haphazardly put together. I could probably even fit a bigger deck box in there, so like instead of having 2, then it'll just be that one. But I don't think there will be any expansions for this game. If there are, I'll be delighted to get it and try it out. But I got to learn how to play this one first. And if this ends up being anything like Samuramat's, where it was surprisingly fun, I think I'm going to enjoy this one a lot. So looking forward to it. Subject matter definitely on point. Definitely makes you think. Definitely makes you like kind of want to investigate and explore more, learn more about the history here. And I do have the lesson plan. I did back the Kickstarter back when that was up. I backed the Kickstarter to include the lesson plan for this one. So that should be delivered hopefully soon. I'm not going to do like a full video for that unless it just feels very compelling, because it's kind of lesson plan material. So it's going to be like just boring to look at, I guess. But we'll see. So yeah, so this one, great components, really good artwork. I mean, it's hopefully the game holds up. Fingers crossed the gameplay is actually fun. Because if it's not, then I'm definitely going to talk about it. But I'll still use it as a conversation piece when it comes to the subject matter here. Okay, cool. So that's going to be it for this video, though. We've gone on for way too long. We're at an hour mark. I've been rambling about things, hopefully things that are relevant and important to make you feel like you are understood and cozy. But for now, thank you all very much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it. And as always, I will see y'all whenever.